Well, good morning, YouTube. I'm in Newport, Kentucky, Newport on the levee. Just wanted to show you guys this. This is what's used to protect Newport, Kentucky from flooding on the Ohio River. You can imagine without this flood wall and flood levee, there would be the potential for a lot of damage. You know, once again, when the Ohio River floods, which it floods every so often, the water definitely tends to come up during the winter more times than any other time of year. But I guess it could come up, you know, later on in the year too, if there's an absolutely, you know, insane amount of rain. They've had great floods here in Cincinnati. The most notable one being 1937. And the Ohio River was at an absolute historic level where it says port of entry. And yeah, this for some reason, not all communities invest in levees to protect their area. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but hey, I don't plan it. But you see how as the hill, you know, goes up, so there's a decent amount of protection. Right here's a couple bars on the banks of the Ohio River, Hooters and Beer Cellar. So yeah, that's a good amount of flood protection. Not only just that initial one, but this little one that goes up to it as well. We got flood levees where I live at in Dayton, Ohio, but the Great Miami's not a major river like the Ohio is. You know, many tributaries, you know, drain to the Ohio River, which I've talked about. The river doesn't have the best reputation because of the pollution that it has. There's the Purple People Bridge further down. This might be one of my last videos I do from the Cincinnati area, because right now the weather's only supposed to get worse as the day drags on. There's a band stage right there. Here we can actually get down closer to the river here from right here. That's the Interstate 471 bridge. My hotel is just down that way. Comfort Suites, I'm checking out here in a little bit. There's the Purple People Bridge right there, and then the other one right down that way that's in white, that's the Taylor South Gate bridge. And we'll be able to see further down the levee continues further down, and it meets the Licking River, which I've done a video of that, I believe, last year when I was down here, where the confluence of where the Licking River meets the Ohio River. And you can see just how high up the Purple People Bridge is right here, as well as the 471 bridge. For those of you that do not know, the Purple People Bridge was originally a railroad bridge. I think they abandoned it in the 90s, I think, is what I've read. If you've ever seen the show WKRP in Cincinnati, you'll see where that is shown during the commercials. Well, during the introduction, obviously, when it was still used as a railroad bridge. I haven't seen any signs of where there's no signs of the railroad track, so they pulled up all of those, apparently, as far as I know. But here we can actually get a look even further down here on the Ohio River. Got to be careful there. Didn't know how slick that was. Here you can see they've left a decent amount of vegetation in to protect it. And right here, I'm about 15% of the way into the Ohio River right here. I've heard the river's about 15 feet deep in this area, which, from what I've read and from what I've been told, that's considered shallow for a major river. There's another view of the Purple People Bridge. I don't know the exact, I guess the citizens, wanted it nicknamed the Purple People Bridge. I don't know why. I would have to look that story up. Here, there you could even see further down the flood levees as they continue. You could see, let's see if I could zoom in a little bit on it. There you could see the stairs that lead up in the levee to the Newport on the levee. The bike path, or the walkway, pedestrian walkway, which is the Purple People Bridge, goes on the other side of that. Then even further down, you got some of the boats. I actually rode one of those last year, one of the passenger boats that rides up and down the river. But there you could see just how big the flood levees are right there. Once again, that's every bit of 60, 70, 80 feet high, with the diagonal slant, how far it goes. You can see a good way down from here. You could see the Purple People Bridge, the Taylor Southgate Bridge, the John Roebland Bridge, and the Brent Spence Bridge, the highway bridge across the way. Definitely get a nice view of things from right here. I don't see anybody on the Purple People Bridge right now from the ground level. Yeah, there's a bottle floating down the river. Yeah, unfortunately, looks like a little bit of geese shit maybe. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, this river, because of all the industrial stuff and barges, it's been the nation's most polluted river probably for well before I was born. I'll say probably since at least the 60s. I don't know for how long, but probably ever since the EPA was brought into existence. It's probably been the most polluted river since then. I think the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, was established in the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely get a nice view along the Ohio River from right here. You can tell how this building sits right on the water because the river is clearly underneath both of these. They probably do need to do some maintenance on this and probably replace some of the wood that's rotted away right here. The steel beams look to be in, I guess, decent shape. But yeah, this is there's a little bit of a hill on the other side, but I don't know if you could really call it a levee. But you got a decent amount of trees near the river on the other side. You actually got a little bit of fog that's actually forming down that way, downstream a little bit. Another view that's looking east on the Ohio River. Yeah, you could tell there's a little bit of fog as some of the clouds are a little bit lower further east down onto the river. It's before 9:30, so it's before Hooters and this other bar open, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just walking around making a video. Hooters umbrellas, obviously for the tables right there. We may get a look at the levee from street level, then I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up on this. Water's definitely very brown looking right now. It may always be like that though, hell, I don't know. Tell how an old sewer drain is on the levee right there. Beer truck obviously getting ready to make a delivery, so obviously somebody's probably here to take the delivery at one of the bars. We'll get a look at the levee from street level on Dave Cowan's Drive. My hotel's just right down the road from here. And here's the flood wall from the street right here. You could tell this sits lower, that you take this flood wall away, this area would be a disaster once again. Because that's a big flood wall right there. Tell how the street, you know, goes up the hill a little bit further into Kentucky on the Newport side. It's starting to rain a little bit more right now. There's supposed to be rain in the forecast all day. Not the best day for weather, unfortunately. River shuttle every home game. I don't know if this is where the tank buses, they might pick up a few people here and there, because the tank buses, Transit Authority of Northern Kentucky, they supply extra buses to get people back and forth to the games and vice versa. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up on this one.